I've been okay. I think, like most people, you have good days and bad days as well, where you're energized and a bit bored and down and all that stuff. But I've actually used it to take a bit of stock. Um, for myself, I'm a person who, when you're at the club as well, you're always meetings, you're always a bit banged up with the body, playing week to week, running around, a lot of pressure, a lot of things kind of going on. This is kind of really forced me just to kind of sit back, relax, do a little bit of training at home, but I've read a lot more than I normally would, um, and done a couple of things around the house, bit of DIY like most people out there. But yeah, just trying to make the most of a bad situation. I tend to read a lot of kind of autobiographies. I tend to enjoy them. I've read Jensen Button's. I've just read one on kind of pool hustling in America, which was quite interesting and probably not too much I can relate to rugby, unless I go on maybe the rugby seven circuit on a lower level and try and hustle some people out of some games. I don't think even that will do that well. Um, but yeah, I'm just about to start Stephen Gerrard's book, which again, I think you look at these type of things and I always think you can take one or two things away and then try and implement that into your game, into your kind of your persona, into trying things, because you always want to evolve. And for me, I love to read and watch stuff and kind of meet people who have done stuff, whether that's from the world of sport, music, art, business, whatever it is, and they tend to have kind of similar traits. And it's trying to pick one or two things that hopefully you can implement into yourself, and further yourself even further. So I used to actually, every time I read a kind of an autobiography, I'd always note down a couple of key things, a couple of things I thought, oh, I'd like to try, because you know what it's like when you're reading something, you often forget kind of what's happened, especially if it's something you want to try. So yeah, that's an important part of learning, I think. For me, it's given me an opportunity to try and plan that next chapter of my life. Of course, it's hard with nothing really going on and no kind of conversations to be had. But just in kind of creating a rough guide and being my kind of last stages at the club, it was always about, I never wanted to go and just decide, okay, what's my next year going to be? It's about, okay, what is my next 5-year window and what does that kind of look at? Because as rugby players, we're very fortunate to do what we do and we love doing what we do. But you do have to go find another profession when it's done, another kind of second career to continue to take you forward. So for me, it's piecing bits together, which are slowly coming to place. And whether that's kind of in a rugby capacity or non-rugby capacity, it's still kind of working out at the moment. So yeah, it's allowed me to look at things which I potentially wouldn't have explored. Who knows, maybe even a bake-off one day. All of a sudden I am. My father-in-law is actually a baker and used to have kind of a pie shop back in New Zealand. And he's like, why have you never baked with me? But yeah, all of a sudden, again, it's just something trying to pass a little bit of time. I've tried to make a couple of healthy cakes, which aren't particularly good. And then I've had a couple which have been quite nice treats as well. So Ted, the nutritionist, always says, as long as there's a bit of balance in there, it's okay.
I guess you would say, what can make me feel this way? My girl, talking about my girl.
When Paul Aziki first came to the club, it was kind of an initiation thing that the guys had to go and dance for a minute or they had to sing, and he was like, "Oh, I don't want to dance, but I happily sing." And he just sung, and it was like, "Oh my god!" Like, obviously, most people know him as this kind of wrecking ball, kind of running through people, over people, and then yeah, he really does have the voice of an angel. So for everyone else to be able to see that and see what he's like, yeah, I'm very jealous of his singing and musical ability, that's for sure. I've never seen him dance that well on a night out, so maybe he's been practicing a bit in this time. But no, he looks quite sharp. Yeah, there's challenges, there's TikToks, there's singing, baking, yeah, all various bits, which again, it's trying to have a bit of fun and trying to make the most of, like I said, this bad situation. If you can give yourself a laugh and other people a bit of a laugh at the same time and keep spirits high, then all for it. As a club, we pride ourselves on being a very kind of family orientated club and a place where everyone can come and have a great kind of afternoon, watch some good rugby and have a good day out. and yeah, myself and all the players, I'm sure other people as well, have called a number of senior members or senior season ticket holders who might be in isolation. And again, it's more just catching up with people and just seeing how they are, because at the end of the day, they're the ones who come and cheer you on, who come and look after you and support you in the good times and the bad times. And it's nice to connect with people. It's nice to connect and hear what the club means to them. But also how they're keeping their spirits high at the moment. A lot of them are kind of out in the gardens and enjoying a bit of time at home. But of course, it can be lonely for a lot of them as well, who are isolating on their own or who can't see their family or grandchildren or stuff like this. So it's trying to make them feel happy. And if we can kind of bring a little bit of happiness to people and share kind of our experiences and a couple of stories along the way, then it's a great cause, I think, and a great thing to do by the club. one person was like, "Who is this?" And I was like, "It's Chris Robshaw. I've come to speak to you about your season ticket and stuff." And I think she thought I was trying to sell her one or something. But no, it's lovely to, like you said, to have those conversations. I think all the season ticket people I spoke to had been kind of season tickets for 5-10 years plus. So a huge amount of investment in the club and love the place.